Let's cross to the High Court in Pretoria, where our reporter Chriselda Lewis is standing by, keeping a close eye on the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Chriselda, what have we seen unfold so far this morning?
Well, Naledi, we're still on a tea break at this particular point, but you can see the accused are being brought back into court. The matter had, of course, gone for tea, but what we're expecting to hear when we get back, an application is expected to be brought by Advocate Zandile Mshololo, who is representing accused number 5. And the basis for this application is that Advocate Zandile Mshololo will argue that the constitutional rights of her client have been violated, given that she'd received docket 375. You would recall, this is the second contentious docket in this particular matter, which is believed to implicate as suspects those that were in the house at the time that Senzo Meyiwa was killed, the likes of his then girlfriend Kelly Kumalo, the sister Longwe Twala, as well as others. So docket 375, which has been a contentious issue in this matter, you would recall that just a couple of days ago, in fact on the 22nd of August, there had been a directive that the Director of Public Prosecutions in the South Gauteng division had basically transferred that docket for a decision to here in Pretoria. So basically this docket, a decision is not likely to be made on it prior to this particular trial concluding. That's the basis of what is contained in that particular correspondence. But what we're expecting to hear after we come back from tea is the fact that Advocate Zandile Mshololo will indicate that the constitutional rights of her client, accused number 5, have been violated, in that she only received this docket 375 during the trial, and that there was no proper disclosure that had been done prior to the trial resuming. So Sergeant Thabo Masiya, who we'd recall was the state's first witness, we were expecting cross-examination by Advocate Zandile Mshololo to continue this morning of him. He's been excused from the court, and we understand that that cross-examination will take place tomorrow, but this application is what will be brought inside this court as soon as we resume.
Yeah, and just quickly, Chriselda, we know that there was a lot of activity outside of the court as well, with that fire having broken out. Any developments there, any arrests at this point? I believe there is a suspect.
Well, that's right, Naledi. There was a bit of concern this morning when we arrived at court. Right next door, the Legal Practice Council offices, a certain section had been on fire. Several people had to be evacuated there. What we heard from Tshwane's emergency services is that 4 people had basically been treated on the scene, some for smoke inhalation. However, 2 of those who were treated are believed to be suspected arsonists, who we understand had a scuffle with the security personnel. What we heard from the Legal Practice Council is that 1 person has been arrested, alleged to have been involved in that arson or the fire that was started right next door, the LPC, which is the building which is right next door, the High Court here. They'd been concerned perhaps that that might have an effect on the proceedings here, given that certain sections of the road leading to the court had been cordoned off, and that includes heading towards the parking here at the High Court. So they'd been concerned that perhaps some of those presiding in this matter would not be able to make it inside court. However, Judge Chifua Maumela did make it to court, as you saw our visuals a bit earlier on, and the concern, I guess, which had been raised about proceedings being affected, that certainly did not happen. So that application expected to be heard in the next couple of moments when we resume.
Yeah, Chriselda Lewis there, our reporter, keeping a close eye on things there at the High Court in Pretoria. You're watching The Agenda. More news after this.